The following show and its content are the responsibility of the show's producers and participants.
Information related in this program is not meant to substitute medical recommendations. Before starting a treatment program, you should consult your physician.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff.
That's right. Welcome to the Couch Live here on WPSN99.com, the problem-solving network. Hello, everybody. How are you? Oh, my God. I am the street-certified dope, Dr. Louis Delgado, along with the Dharma Guy. Let me let you see who he is. There he is for the people that watch it on YouTube.
Hey, what's going on?
How you doing, brother? All good?
I'm doing well.
Oh, Mike's probably a little bit hot there. Let me turn that down a little bit.
I'm doing well.
Yeah. Oh, why not swell? You gave up on the swell word?
I'm not quite swell today. I'm doing well, not swell.
Just well. Then.
Just well.
All right.
Although it's a bit warm.
You're allowed, I guess.
In Central Florida today. So.
What are you talking about?
Although, hey, next week.
You really think it's warm?
I do.
Real?
Yes. Next week it's going to be in the 50s and 60s. So I'm excited about that.
Right. Well, you do like it like really.
I'm like a polar bear, man.
Yeah.
The colder the better.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't even know what to say to that. You're absolutely right. You do like it really cold.
I do.
But anyway, all right, Trinity. So it's our first show of the Couch Live. That is, we did
yes.
Dharma Time and Lemon Squeeze and stuff like that.
Feels like I was just in here like a couple days ago.
You weren't.
I was.
And so the New Year's resolution stuff is what's on everybody. You know,
it's
a lot of people got
right
mad
now.
about. Yeah, a lot of people got mad about that new me, new whatever, New Year, new me thing.
Really?
Yeah, Lemon Squeeze girls were talking about it. JoJo and
Really?
Constance B. And if you haven't watched the Lemon Squeeze, it's a great show.
And what were they saying about it?
Or listened and watched, I guess you could say. I guess a lot of people are not liking it. I guess because they know people's dirt and they're like, whatever, that's played out. It's not really a new you.
Ah, all right.
It's like haters, man.
I can see that, I guess.
I guess there's a lot of haters out there that just don't want you to be new.
Sure.
I'm cool with new. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
So what? It's a new you.
To be honest with you, if going based upon my my spirituality perspective,
Yeah.
every minute is a new you. So take that.
Well, you're gonna like what Lemon Squeeze said then, because they turned it into, how about a better you?
Nice.
Be better.
Be better. I
Yeah,
like
isn't
it.
that crazy?
Be better.
Yeah, and I did not hint them. I did not clue them in on that. That was totally came from them.
Very cool.
That wasn't a producer-fed line.
No segues or anything.
No.
I like it.
Nothing like that.
Be
So
better.
be very proud. So anyway, a little bit let you know. So thank you all for joining us here on the Couch Live. Remember, this is a show that focuses on addiction and recovery, and of course anything in between, because we're easily distracted. And we
No,
go,
not us.
Yeah, we go all over the place. I notice it a lot more when I have to do editing later.
Yeah.
But that's fine. That's fine, because we're real people with real problems and real issues, and real life things happen.
Yes.
And that's okay too. So anyway, thank you all for tuning in. So we wanted to talk a little bit about this new year, because so many of you made a new plan, and so far you're sticking to it. There's a lot of you that are sticking to it. You said that you weren't going to drink this year, and so far you haven't. So many of you said you're not going to do drugs this year, and so far you haven't. You said you're going to exercise more. You're going to eat better. And so many of you are doing that, but we're only, 11 days in?
12 days.
12 days.
Today's
I keep
the
saying
12th.
11.
Yeah, I don't know why.
All right, so 12 days in, and I don't mean to say only, because it feels probably like a lifetime to some of you. Because I remember when I first started, when I first stopped using, 12 days was a lifetime away.
Heck yeah, if you're used to doing it every day.
Yeah, that's like 2 detox treatments already.
Yeah.
Or more, 3. So I get it. So I know that it's been tough, and so usually at this time of year. And I always akin it to something you can relate to, Trinity, is the gym. At the beginning of the year, the gym is full.
Yes.
of everybody that said they were going to get
You know what?
shape.
Believe it or not, actually, I'm very aware of that.
Yeah.
Not only as somebody who was going to the gym, excuse me, every day or consistently.
Right.
But because of some of the health concerns that I've had lately, I haven't actually been able to go to the gym to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
And I'm always hyper aware of when things are working, when I can finally get back in there, because I don't want to be one of those people that, oh, this guy's in for, this New Year's guy. Like, no, I'm not. Like, I'm one of you. I haven't been able to do it. But I'm very aware of that concept.
Right.
I'm always worried that I'm going to be thought of as that guy.
Oh, so you'd stay away on purpose?
Yeah, actually.
I think a lot of people do, probably.
Yeah.
A lot of real exercise people.
But for me, it's just been frustrating because I've tried to get in and out for different reasons, and it would go for like a few days, and I'd realize that it's too early, and so I have to not go in. But yes, I'm always aware of being looked at as not one of them, not one of the cool kids.
And it's kind of like the people that are used to going to the gym all the time. It's almost like they've urinated on it. This is my equipment.
Yeah.
You're a newbie or you're someone that's just trying to get, instead of embracing people getting fit or coming into your area and kind of realizing that they want to be more like you. They want to do the things that you're doing because they admire the way you respect your body and the way you respect
I think for the most part
fitness.
they do, though.
They kind of there's a lot of people that
I
resent
think there's but I think there's like a grace period.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that for the most part, those who, and I can only speak for myself and my ilk, if you will, the people I would hang around with. Obviously, you're going to have outliers. But I know for myself and a lot of other individuals I related to, when we would see somebody who was maybe obese or something, or somebody who was fresh in there, while I respect their desire and their commitment to come in and do it, before I start to take you seriously, I need to see some longevity.
Right.
Once I've seen some longevity, once I've seen like a few months go by and you're sticking with it, you're one of us now. Like you've made it, you've graduated, and you're one of us. But if I only see you for like a month, if I haven't seen you at all in this gym for years, and all of a sudden you pop up and you're in there like you're trying to do your thing, I'm not cracking on you, but I'm not taking you seriously yet either. I'm like, we'll see. Let's see.
So all right. So here's what I hear. Now, do you remember that show Deadliest Catch?
Yes.
With the greenhorns?
Well, I never watched it, but I know the show.
All right. So the new guys on the boat, never worked on the boat. They'd show up. They'd put their hand out to say, hi, how you doing? And the other guys wouldn't even shake their hand until they made it through a couple days or weeks or whatever.
I can understand that.
Or even the first season.
I wouldn't take it to that nth degree at the gym, but I understand it on there.
Well, that's what it sounded like when you said it. It almost sounded like, don't even shake my hand or talk to me yet because
you're not going to be here in a month.
So here's the thing. If we would do that at meetings, like at 12-step meetings.
It would be horrible.
That'd be horrible.
It'd be absolutely horrible.
So don't listen to what Trinity says. Don't do what the crabbers do, and don't do what these exercise.
Oh, but hold up! You're not
do.
going to the gym to get everybody to.
What are you talking about? It's just as wait. To some people, that's equally as unhealthy to not be moving around and doing exercise.
I can say for myself, whether I know you or not, for the most part, when I'm at the gym, leave me alone. I'm not here to talk. I'm not here to socialize. I'm here to put my work in and go home. Hence the headphones. And I exaggerate. When somebody tries to say something to me, I'm sorry, what? And then I put it back. Like I make an exaggerated movement to pull my headphone in to basically say, you're irritating me. Why are you talking to me?
All right, I'll say one of your words, touche. That is true. You're really not there I'm not there to
support
people.
To
give hope and inspiration.
No, I'm there to work out.
You're there for yourself.
Yes.
Very selfish move of you, Trinity.
Yes.
But that's okay. You're allowed to be selfish at the gym.
Exactly.
That is one place.
Now, don't get me wrong, though. I do help. There's been people there that they'll say, hey, can I get a spot or whatever? Or they ask questions and stuff for sure.
So if I would ask for a spot, you'd spot me? Or do I already have to have been there a month
no, I'd
before you'd spot me?
I'd spot you.
Would you laugh that it's only 10 pounds?
It depends if it's your first day or not. No, I wouldn't laugh, man. I respect people. I started out lightweight, and and that's the thing, though, is the people who know what it takes to get there.
Yeah, they're cool.
They respect it no matter what because they all started somewhere. Right. It's the ones that are there to get the attention, to take a selfie and stuff. Right. They're the ones that are trying to crack on everybody. Right. And you'll notice that they start to hang together because the ones who are serious about it, they don't think it's funny when you're cracking on it because, everybody starts somewhere. Right. And so they kind of weed themselves out.
Well, I could tell you that every time I've had like a surgery on the shoulders or something like that, and I've gone in there, I almost wanted to make sure they know that it's because of surgery that I'm just lifting up the bar.
Just get a big T-shirt. I'm here from surgery.
Yeah. Because it's not. If not, they're like, really, bro? That's the only weight you're lifting. It's almost like you want to over-exaggerate. Like,
oh yeah.
You know,
I'm sorry, dude. You're talking to somebody.
I've done that.
Well, you're talking to somebody who in my prime, I was always that guy that people would look over and look at the weight that I was doing and everything else.
Yeah.
And then through all the medical concerns, I have to do like dramatically less weight, like really low weight. And yeah, I'm self-conscious about it. I can't help it. I'm still a dude, man. Still got an ego. I mean, my sensible brain tells me that yes, I got to take it easy. It is what it is. Weight doesn't matter. But my male ego, alpha male, is like, punk, what are you doing, man? Like, look at them all. Look at that dude sitting next to you. So of course, I mean, we all suffer from it.
Well,
that's why a lot of dudes go in there and hurt themselves because they do more than they're supposed to.
Well, I'm applauding anybody who is actually sticking to it up to this point, 12
Absolutely.
days in, or whenever you're watching or listening to this, however many days in you are to your plan. Good job. What we wanted to do, instead of talk about those New Year's resolutions so much, though, is kind of, number one, pump you up and kind of encourage you to keep it going. Because if you're 12 days in, hey, man, you're there, man. You're doing it. You're doing it.
Yes, sir.
That's a lot more than other people.
You can't get to 300 without
Some people
hitting
didn't
12.
make it one day.
Yeah.
You know, some people said, I'm going to stop drinking, and then the first weekend, you know, they failed or whatever like that.
Yep.
And hopefully they jump right back in it. Because it doesn't need to be on the first, Trinity, right?
Correct.
I mean, we like to say, I mean, it really doesn't matter when you stop or quit, as long as you're still
worth
breathing.
It's worth doing it now.
Yeah, if you're still breathing, you still have an opportunity to change what you're doing. What is that?
It's my phone.
Oh, wow. Let's decline that real quick. All of a sudden, I heard someone laughing.
My baby laughing.
Who's
That's my
laughing
ringtone.
at us?
That's my ringtone. That's my son laughing. Well, not now, I guess, when he was like baby.
That's really his laugh?
Yeah.
That's an awesome laugh, by the way. Does he still laugh like that?
No.
Oh.
I mean, he laughs, like, but he's, his voice is deeper now, I guess.
Well, yeah, but it's still...
But
cool
no, when he was
laugh.
a baby, he was like the little happiest. He would laugh like crazy.
I thought that was like a Tickle Me Elmo kind of thing.
But no, speaking of that, I've never understood that concept.
Which one?
I mean, I understand, I guess, intellectually, but I can't rationalize that perspective of, I'll start on Monday or the 1st or whatever.
Yeah.
If it's worth doing, it's worth doing now.
Right now.
And especially in the nutrition world, it always happens, dude. Like, nutrition is so bad because it's like there's a couple pitfalls, especially people with New Year's resolutions. Because I mean, let's just be honest, it's a lot of people's New Year's resolutions. I want to eat healthier this year.
Eat healthier, lose weight.
Which we'll talk about why that's a bad idea. But
okay.
The thing I always find interesting with nutrition specifically is they always feel like they got to start on a Sunday or Monday, depending on when your definition of week starts.
Okay.
And so if it's like Tuesday, you're like, oh man, I can't start on a Tuesday. I'll wait till Sunday.
Yeah, that's like an odd day to start, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Well, that's what they think.
Yeah.
And so
Well, it does sound like it. Because what else starts on a Tuesday besides eating tacos?
Sure. But then they'll go through the rest of the week.
Yeah, you can't
and just eat
wait.
horribly.
I just reminded myself. You can't stop eating tacos on Taco Tuesday.
You can have tacos any day, man, to be honest with you. But.
Yeah, but you're going to make me eat a tofu taco.
Oh, God.
No, I'm sorry.
No.
I was kidding. Go ahead with your point.
No, I was just saying
that was one of those squirrels.
Yeah.
Training.
But they'll start, like, instead of starting on Tuesday, they'll just wait and eat like crap the rest of the week and then to start on Sunday. But then what happens too, though, is the other thing that I find interesting, and nutrition is one of the few things that people do. There's other ones, obviously, but it's one of the few instances where this seems acceptable. If my goal is to eat whatever, like not eat this, or like, let's say my goal is to not eat chips.
Right.
And I sit down and it's Monday, and let's say I have a couple chips. Then I'll be like, oh, man, I might as well eat the whole bag now because I had a couple chips. Right. It's like, no, you could have stopped after 2. It would have been fine.
Right.
But, yes, it's very interesting, the dynamic with nutrition goals specifically.
Well, we're going to have to throw that out. You just gave me a point. So, we're going to have to write this down, Trinity. You got a great memory. We're going to have to ask the audience on one of those polls on what day of the week they stopped. Whatever they stopped, whatever they've been successful at being in recovery, what day of the week was it? To kind of see what day of the week do people tend to quit something.
Very interesting. Yeah, I would be.
And now I'm curious.
I would be curious to know that as well.
Yeah, now I'm curious.
To see if they started, like if they had a, that would be very interesting.
Yeah, because now I'm curious to see how many people stop something on a Tuesday. Like
be
right now it's Friday. Like how many people really quit drinking on a Friday?
Yeah, I would venture to guess probably not a lot.
No. Unless they quit drinking because they were in prison or jail.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have a choice at that point.
Yeah, or hospitalized.
Because the old adage.
Then it makes sense.
The thing, the stereotype, whether it's true or not, the stereotype is, hey, I'm getting ready to stop. let me have one last weekend to blow
absolutely.
out.
Well, I mean, and a lot of us are okay with you doing that.
Right.
As long as it's safe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're not okay with someone shooting up another bag of dope, their last day. That's not, but it is very common practice to let someone have a drink on their way to rehab. That's not so unusual.
Sure.
In the world, there's a lot of people that get off flights that are going to rehab, and they had a couple.
Sure.
The whole key is don't drink too much before getting on, because then you're not even going to be allowed on the plane. There are rules.
So yeah, I would be. It's well, I guess that's the other question then too. Is do we, and I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not giving my personal opinion, but do we value any more or less somebody who says I'm willing to start before a weekend? Do we value that any more or less?
That's a great point, Trinity, because just like you said about you kind of look at people that are coming into the gym. I bet you treat people differently in January at the gym than you would if it was October.
Probably.
And you just saw them brand new at the gym.
Probably.
I'm sure you probably are more interested in like, hey, so you just move here? It'll probably be more like a question, did you just move here?
Yeah, something like that.
Rather than
well, if I saw,
New Year's resolution
now that
deal.
I'm thinking about it, if I saw somebody for the first time in January, no matter what the scenario is, my immediate thought process is
New Year's resolution.
New Year's person.
Right.
To whereas if I saw somebody in October, my first thought is maybe they're coming at a different time. Maybe they're normally going to the gym. They just picked a new day of the week, a new time. I've never ran into them before.
Right.
Maybe they're just a different gym. Like I automatically assume that they've been doing it for a while, and there's some weird circumstances why I see them today. As opposed to if I saw them in January, I immediately think New Year's.
Well, something tells me that if you saw me at the gym, Trinity, you're not going to think I've been coming for a while and I just came at a different day.
Well, being the fact that I know you, I think you're probably trying to sell them something. Or
oh my God. Oh, that's horrible. I sell recovery.
I'm just saying.
How is that a bad thing?
I think you're there trying to recruit them for like a sponsorship for our golf tournament coming up next in March.
Foul. Wait, time out. What is it I sell?
Well, sponsorships
not better for you.
I didn't say it wasn't better.
Speaking of sponsorships, let's take a quick. Let's
March 19th.
March 19th.
Monday.
Speaking of sales, this coming March 19th, you join us for the Now Matters More Foundation charity golf tournament.
There you go,
That's right.
man.
All right, let's sell something then. All right, you're right. What I sell is hope, faith, and recovery.
Spin it, baby. Spin it.
So I'm going to spin it because coming up March 19th, everybody, is this the charity golf tournament, our 5th annual charity golf tournament for the Now Matters More Foundation.
It's been 5 already.
It's fifth year. Fifth year.
That's awesome.
And so we just opened up registration. It's a little late because I got a little distracted this year. But it's our 5th annual tournament registration is now open. If you wanted to be a sponsor or if you wanted to play in the tournament, if you wanted to volunteer, let us know. But it's open right now. Go to nowgolftournament.org. That's nowgolftournament.org.
Yes, sir.
And go register. We'd love to see you this year. We've had a tremendous amount of people already say. They're the ones that keep reminding me, hey, when do I register? Yeah. Hey,
they're already signing up today.
Yeah, signing up.
Like
signing
I'm
up.
getting emails.
So please do it. And also while we're here, I found a little trick, Trinity, and I did it. And so Jeremy Wood, if you're watching, Jeremy, from our Now Matters More, I tricked him yesterday. But I didn't trick him on purpose. It just so happened to turn into a trick. All right, so Trinity calls me and says something's going on with our PayPal.
Yes.
Not even true, by the way. Nothing was happening with our PayPal.
Hey, I'm just relaying what I was told.
He said there was something going on with our PayPal. So I called our IT guy, Jeremy, and I said, Jeremy, something's going on with the PayPal. It's not working. It's not taking donations. So Jeremy said, let me check it out. And everything looked like it was working fine. So he goes, well, let me try to push one through. So he donated $5 to check to see if it works. At the end of it, I said, well, worst case scenario, we just got another $5.
Yeah, thanks for your $5, bro. Look, it's so great you got choked up over it, man. That's awesome.
Man. Because you don't understand how much that $5 stretches.
Actually, I kind of do.
Well, you do. But you people that are listening or watching, you don't know how much that $5 stretches. So what I told Jeremy, now that I learned this new trick, I'm going to start calling everybody I know.
Like, can you put $5
and say, hey,
it
I
works?
think our PayPal's not working, or I think that our donate button is not working.
That's right, man.
Do you mind, helping me figure out if it's true? So if you're out there and you want to help us figure out if our donate button is working.
You did it 100 times. It's $500, man.
It's a genius movement, don't you
I like it.
Anyway, go to nowgolftournament.org, register for golf, or if you just want to donate, just go to nowmattersmore.org and do
click
it
on the tournament.
and click on click on donate if they just want to donate.
That too, yes.
Right. So anyway, so I did sell something.
You did.
There you go. Since you called me a salesman,
I'm just saying, if I saw you in the gym, I would immediately say, he's probably trying to get a sponsorship or something.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think he's here to work out.
And yes, I can say bastard. It's okay.
It's internet radio.
Internet radio. Go ahead.
I like it.
All right. So what else were you saying when you distracted me like that? You really got me on there.
Oh, we were just saying we were talking about how do we value differently, the days of the week that somebody would come on. Like, do we look at somebody differently who says, it's Friday night, I'm going to go into treatment, as opposed to somebody says, I'm going to wait till Sunday. I'm going to wait till Monday. Do we look at that and value that differently? Is there a stigma attached to that too?
Right.
I mean, obviously,
that's a great point.
Being the fact that we're in the field, any day is a good day. Yeah. I mean, whatever, I can't fault somebody for waiting, but I wonder if those in the circle look at it differently.
Yeah.
Like, do they have that personal badge of like, I did it on Friday night. That's how much it meant to me.
Right. I'm going to akin it to people that come out of jail and say they're going to start going to church or they're going to start going to meetings.
They found Jesus in prison.
Yeah, the jailhouse religion.
Yep.
I'm going to akin it to that because I do remember a childhood friend of mine that went to prison, and when he came out, he was very religious. This guy,
right?
When he came out, he was just Jesus this, Jesus that, and it was kind of overwhelming because the things that I had done with this guy,
sure,
kind of made me real hesitant to kind of be. It was hard,
sure,
to hear this guy talk the way he was talking when I knew.
I got some friends like that.
Too much dirt on him, right? And so even some of us on the side were like, good for him, great for him, but, we got to give it some time.
Sure.
Let's see if it takes. But all of us had the same, what was that? You just keep making noises over there.
I didn't know the volume was up.
All of us kept saying, hopefully.
Right, hopefully
it's
takes, legit, yeah.
For that guy, he had already done some time and he was facing some serious charges and stuff, and so hopefully it worked. And we've known so many other people that, all they had to do is do probation successfully, go to get their GED or just comply with probation, and then it'd be gone, right? But instead, they refuse to change. So to hear somebody say, "I'm changing,"
it is kind of hard, though. I'm guilty of that myself.
To accept them, or to accept that their change is real?
Yeah, because I've got friends like that myself.
Yeah,
I have a few friends of mine. I'm not gonna name any names, but
please
friends
don't.
that like.
Because friends like that actually have weapons.
Yeah, right.
So
I just got a friend of mine that is a good person and all, but they struggle with things here and there, and it seems like they constantly look for answers in different places.
Right.
And then I've known this person for years, and all of a sudden out of nowhere, like God's posts started popping up.
Oh yeah.
And in my head, I'm thinking, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I've known you for years, and I've never even hear you say the word God, let alone you're hitting up church all the time now.
Right.
And it's hard for me to take it seriously. It's hard for me to believe when I know that person. It's just like interesting. I mean, I try not to judge it, but you can't help it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, a person's story just makes it difficult sometimes.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you probably like me were like, I really hope for you.
Sure.
Because, it may not be the thing that I'm willing to do or wanting to do at the moment, but for you just suffered this huge, setback in your life.
Yeah.
So any change is better than going back to that setback.
Even for me. I mean, there's people who knew me in the past that if you would have told them back then that I was going to be a spiritual individual and teaching Buddhism, I would have laughed at you, let alone them.
Bro, I mean, look, for anyone that knows me and hung out with me back in the day,
Sure.
you know how much no lie, Trinity, there's some people that will watch this and hear this later. You know, if they're not watching it now, they know me. And you guys know what you did. For like 10 years, 10, 15 years, you asked me, wait, you don't even smoke pot?
Right.
You don't even drink?
Yeah.
This is all like a game, right? This is like your show, right? Because that sales thing you did, because I did.
Sure.
I was in sales and delivery. Well, so the amount of feedback some of you guys gave me, it took some of you 10 years to believe that I was really doing this.
Well, the other thing that I noticed is along those same lines.
Yeah.
Is and I don't know if you guys get this in the addiction world the same. I'm sure there's a version of it.
Mm-hmm.
But like I know with myself, people who I've known for a while, when they find out that I'm into like the spirituality stuff, and that's kind of what I'm doing with my life at this point, they kind of start to try to find chinks in the armor almost.
Of course.
Like they're waiting for any moment to prove that it's not true, and it's not real.
Yeah.
It's like, well, then why are you doing this? I'm like, I didn't say I was perfect, bro. I mean, I just said that I'm doing this now.
Don't forget, I'll still whip your ass.
Yeah, right? So, I mean, I guess
right?
I would assume in the addiction world it's similar in the sense of it's like maybe if you're not doing drugs and alcohol, then maybe they're constantly looking for like, oh, well, you're eating your potato chips all the time now. Like they're trying to find chinks to show that you haven't changed. You change one addiction to the next or something like that. Like, I guess it makes them feel better to know that somebody else is just as screwed up as they are, I guess. Right. But I just find that interesting that people are always trying to either disbelieve it or find ways of disproving it somehow. It's like, why does my success bother you so much?
Right.
But interesting.
Right. All right. So before we continue along this, I want to remind everybody why we're able to do this show for 1 hour uninterrupted. Without any commercial breaks. It's because of our sponsors. We have some title sponsors, some main sponsors that have joined Surf Monkey Media and the Problem Solving Network, WPSN99.com. Because of them, we're able to do this uninterrupted. One of those sponsors is Journey Pure. Journey Pure is treatment centers in Tennessee, here in Florida, Kentucky. They are there for you if you have any issues with drug or alcohol problems and you're thinking about maybe talking to a facility and seeing if you're a good candidate to go into rehab or at any level of treatment, whether it be detox, residential, IOP, outpatient, then you can contact Journey Pure. And, of course, another one is Retreat Premier Addiction Treatment Centers. They have programs in Pennsylvania and Florida. And, again, just like Journey Pure, they have all levels of care. They have detox all the way down to outpatient just so you can have the full continuum of care so that at any point or at any level or stage of the game, you're able to contact them, call them, and see if you're a good fit, good candidate. Matter of fact, both of these programs are in network with certain insurances. So if you've ever been told that you have to go to an out-of-network facility, then contact either Journey Pure or Retreat Premier Addiction Treatment Centers, and you may be able to see that they might be in network with your particular insurance company. So anyway, just wanted to get that out there. And if you wanted their phone numbers and you don't want to talk to an 800 number, or if you don't want to just look at a website, or if you do want to look at a website, but you still, when you pick up the phone, you want to talk to an individual person, a person that maybe knows us, and you can feel like you're getting some real truthful information, then go to nowmattersmore.org. Look under the treatment centers there at the different levels of treatment. We've already vetted them, and we have individual phone numbers for them. So thank you very much. So is that considered selling too when I talk about our sponsors?
But that's good stuff because we're selling good things. Right. And speaking of that, I actually have a personal story with one of them, the Tom Garofolo run from Retreat. Mm-hmm. He on Tuesday on the Dharma time, I was talking about it, and you brought up afterwards that I neglected to finish my story.
Yeah, you were going to say a story. And
I was.
I was listening the whole hour.
But this actually coincides with kind of what we're talking about today as well.
Okay, good.
So I can mention it here.
Right,
and for those of you who've watched both, then you get your answer here.
Yeah, we should call him and ask him specifically.
Yeah, right. But Tom made a post, and it was on January 1st, and it just spoke to me.
Okay.
And it was just like, it was wow. And to me, it just goes to show, hearing this post and talking to him a few times on the radio and stuff.
Right.
I'm not surprised then that Retreat is as good as it is.
Right.
Because it just shows the mentality, and people of that mentality are going to do and support companies of that mentality. I guess.
Right.
And it's relatively short, so I don't mind reading it all. But it says, he said reposting this speaks volumes. So I'm assuming he got it from somebody and just reposted it, but he thought enough of it to repost. It says, as we will welcome the new year, I'm not taking anything from 2017 with me into 2018. If you owe me, don't worry about it. If you wronged me, it's all good. If you're fighting with me, you won. If we aren't speaking, if we aren't speaking, it's cool. Be safe, and I still wish you well.
Wow.
If you're talking about me, thanks for the advertisement. If you don't want me in your life, continue not to. I still pray all is well.
Wow.
If you don't like me, it's okay. I like me. If you left me hanging, don't worry. God picked me up. If you feel I wronged you, I apologize from my heart. In all things, I forgive you, and please forgive me. Life is too short for all this extra, unnecessary drama. No one is promised tomorrow. I will not go into 2018 carrying 2017 burdens or pain. I thought that was really cool. It really spoke to me. And that's why I brought it up on my show on Tuesday, because it kind of coincided with what I was talking about, with just this mentality, this perspective of just let it go. Let it go, let it go. And
go ahead, do that.
But too many people just don't realize how to let it go, or they find it too difficult,
Right.
But anyways, I just, I think that coincides with the whole New Year, New Me kind of a thing. And that to me would be being better. So in that sense, I don't think he changed who he is. I just think he's actively trying to be better.
Some of the key ones that I heard there is, if you're having beef with me, kind of, it's like, you're right.
You win.
You win.
Yeah, you win.
And I know you say it quite often. It's like, you'd rather be happy than miserable. You know what I mean?
I'd rather be happy than right.
Yeah. Yeah. So you took that old adage and you make it work in your life. I've seen it happen in your life. So you're not just saying it. You actually walk the walk. So I like that, and that's kind of what he's saying in that one. But I like the way he said it. I like the whole new twist on it. If you've had beef with me, you're right. Yeah. It's like I don't think I've ever heard someone just say that. You're right. Mm-hmm. You know. And then in the one that says if you're not talking to me, then keep doing that or something. What does it say?
It says if you're not talking about me, or if you are talking about me, thanks for the advertisement.
No, and then
it says if you don't want me in your life, continue not to. I'll still pray for you.
That right there. If you don't want me in your life, then continue that.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's pretty cool because all too often, so many of us chase someone who really is not ready for who we are.
Correct.
Regardless of why.
Not everybody's compatible, man.
Not everybody,
and that's okay.
And you don't have to be compatible with
okay.
everybody. Not everybody has to like you. Just like you don't have to like everybody. And so I like that. So that if you don't want to talk to me, then that's okay.
Yeah.
And maybe next time.
Yeah. But it just spoke to me.
Yeah.
I liked it. That's why I talked
I remember
about it.
I was wanting to hear it, and you didn't.
Now you have.
No, I did.
It's like they all run.
I don't know how I missed it. I missed that post.
Yeah, I don't know. It was good though.
Right. So tell us about the goal setting then, Trinity, because here's the deal. So we say we want to quit drinking. We say we want to stop doing drugs. We say we want to eat better. We say we want to start working out. But when something just stays in the mind, right, Trinity, it's real hard.
Very.
Like in treatment world, as counselors or therapists or doctors, you do treatment plans.
Right.
From a more of a life coach perspective, the way you are, you kind of behave more like a life coach.
Okay.
How does that look? How does that goal setting kind of play out?
First off, I want to say, because you neglected to mention it, by the way.
What did I do wrong?
And we have cameras here, so I'm rocking the
new
Couch Live hat.
That's
here,
right.
It says Dharma Guy on one side and Couch Live on the other. So thank you for that.
I got mine on too.
He does, but you didn't acknowledge that I have. And I purposely wore the gray one because I knew you would have the white, and I didn't want to sit there and match.
Well,
the white would have gone better with this. So
that's why I didn't wear the gray, because gray would have not gone so well with black shirt.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm wearing it. For those of you looking at it, looks pretty good, right?
Looks better. Do better.
Do better. Nice. So anyways, so what that looks like, the thing that I see all the time when it comes to just life in general, no matter what your motivation might be, whether it be clean, sobriety, whether it be getting fit, whether it be achieving whatever it may be, the thing that I've come to learn is a lot of people just don't know how to set goals, man. They in their mind, they set these goals, but then they make quite a few mistakes and they set themselves up for failure. And so what I've started doing with some of the groups I was running was teaching people how to actually set goals. It sounds fundamental and basic,
right?
But it's not. And like the example that I would use that almost everybody would at some point in their lives mention, and I said it earlier, is I want to eat healthier.
Right.
Like, I want to eat healthy. Right. The problem with that is, what does that look like?
Right.
It's not specific. It's not measurable. And so, believe it or not, I've actually had people, I've had clients in the past who've come to me with those goals, and I couldn't make this up if I tried. They switched from a peanut Snickers to an almond Snickers and said, I'm eating healthier because almonds are better for you.
That's brilliant.
And I'm like, that's not quite what that means, but okay.
It doesn't taste the same, by the way.
Yeah. I actually kind of like the almond ones, but regardless, my point is, we have to understand a couple fundamental truths, man. Is number one, goals are supposed to be wins. Like, we want to set ourselves up to win because nobody wants to, it's hard to stay motivated when you're losing all the time.
Right.
And so if you have wins, you're more motivated to stick it out. The other thing is we're liars. Like, we lie to ourselves constantly, and we're great at it.
Yeah.
And so you have to have some accountability built into your goals so you don't lie to yourself. So, for instance, if I want to eat healthier, I need to define that as, okay, what is healthier? Maybe in my mind, healthier is fruits and vegetables. So I say, okay, I'm going to eat 3 servings of vegetables this week.
Right.
That's very measurable. And it's trackable, so I can, either I did it or didn't do it. To whereas if I just say eat healthier, I'll find myself saying, oh, well, I ordered a veggie pizza, so I was eating healthier. I still ate the whole thing, but I ate healthier. We'll lie to ourselves in that kind of a way. So,
can I stop you there for a quick
ahead.
second to kind of ask you a question about that then?
Sure.
So would it be more... Because, like, when you set goals in counseling, you try to make things more positive rather than the knots. I'm not going to do this. I am going to do something.
Right.
So would you say that maybe a good way to kind of say eating healthier would be I'm going to eat fish one time a week or fish twice a week or something like that, rather than say I'm not going to eat pizza or not eat fried food?
Well, what I tell people to do is for the goals, I try to say, first of all, they need to be specific and measurable. Mm-hmm. If they're too vague, then we'll find ways around it. Right. If they're not measurable, then we'll find ways around it. So, and yes, I don't say don't eat certain things, because obviously, for those who know me, I'm not into the good food, bad food thing. Right. It either helps me achieve my goals or it doesn't. Okay. And so, yes, if an individual wants to add something to their diet, or maybe they want to not eat pizza, for instance, right? Mm-hmm. If that's a goal that they have, then what I would focus on is, what are you going to replace that with? Right. And then, all right, let's eat more of that. Let's track how many times we consume that. Let's track how many times we're successful. Okay, so almost then, say, on the days that I normally eat pizza or want to eat pizza, I'm going to eat blankety blank. Correct. Something like that then? Something like that. Okay. So the parameters would be, they have to be challenging yet obtainable. Right. And that's another one that I think a lot of people lose out on. Avoid the I'm nevers. Mm-hmm. I'm never going to do this. I'm never... And aside from obviously sobriety, things like I'm never gonna eat pizza again, you probably will. Yeah, like, someone say never is like the guy with the first time in the gym. Yeah, right, on January. So you don't want to hear someone say that. No. So the thing that I try to keep them aware of, I guess, the first and foremost thing is you have to have short-term, long-term, and mid-range goals. In other words, something I'm gonna do today, right? Something I'm aiming for. And there's something that's going to keep me on track, basically. And so for the short-term goals, I try to tell people those are the ones that you would do the day-to-day. What I'm going to consume and things of that nature. Very easily obtainable, but challenging. So, for instance, if somebody is not a vegetable eater at all, but that's something that they want to incorporate in their lives, what I would say is, all right, can you eat 3 servings of vegetables twice this week? And most people would say, yeah. Right. And for some individuals who don't eat vegetables at all, that's challenging. Like if you eat none at all, then 2 days eating 3 servings is going to be challenging. But it's obtainable. It's something that you can do. And then at the end of the week, when I come to you and I say, hey, did you do this? It's very simple. Either you did or didn't. Right. And if you did, that feels good. It's a win. And so then I say, all right, well, I tell you what, next week, can you do this? And then that kind of helps them stay on track, if you will. Right. And the reason why you had to have short-term and midterm and long-range goals is because, let's say, for instance, I had a client who needed to lose well over 100 pounds. The problem is, if this person needs to lose well over 100 pounds, it's pretty safe to assume that for the most part, they've probably been battling weight for most of their life. And maybe there's some days that they've gotten off. 1 month they were able to lose like 6 or 7 pounds, but then it all came back on. And so they're struggling with the mentality of, is this even possible? And then if I come as a professional and say, all right, well, you got to lose 100-some pounds, they're immediately going to go nuts, because they're thinking 100 pounds, I could only lose like 5 on my own, and I couldn't even keep that off. What do you mean 100? And so it's this big, huge, intimidating goal. So don't even think about that. Right. Just like they do in addiction. Nobody ever starts out saying, I'm going to be sober for the rest of my life. It's one day at a time. Right. Do it this hour, And so for that individual who was, let's say, wanting to lose 100, I wouldn't say to them anything about weight. I would just say, do you think you could be active 30 minutes, 3 days this week? Sure. Cool. Let's do that this week. And I come back to you next week. Did you achieve that? Great. Right. How about this week now? Let's do 4 days, 30 minutes of activity. You think you can do that? Right. Yeah. And so you just little small goals that are challenging yet obtainable, specific and measurable, and short-term goals, little wins. Okay. So like, let's say it's a food addiction issue with someone, that's a tough one, if it's an actual addiction issue, like if it is drugs, if it is alcohol, a lot of people do feel like they're having a win when they go from whiskey to beer, or if they harm reduction, I guess. Yeah, exactly. There's a harm reduction models out there that some people that may not fully understand the disease of addiction. Right. They push the harm reduction. Now, harm reduction is great for people that are still not under the influence of a disease. Right. If you're abusing substances, if you're abusing drugs or alcohol, then harm reduction does work for you, or can be effective. Just like the Just Say No campaign is effective as for the people that are 9 years old, 10 years old, that have never tried drugs or alcohol before yet. Right. The younger generations that have not yet tried something that could telling someone not to do it is effective. Right. That first point was huge, though. I think a lot of people don't know the difference between abuse and addiction.
Right.
I think a lot of people confuse the two.
Well, and great. Okay, so let's stay there for a second then. So for the people that are thinking, am I abusing something or am I addicted to something? There's certain things that you're gonna wanna sit in front of somebody and just be brutally honest, because if you try to analyze that yourself, like when you said we're liars.
Yeah.
And this is not trying to knock you. This is not trying to be
human nature,
mean to you. This is just we manipulate ourselves to get what we want or to fit the narrative
to justify.
Yeah.
We do it all day long.
It's very similar. If you disagree with me, think about how many times you said, I really hate people. I really hate liars.
Right.
You sat there, you got lied to by somebody close to you or somebody that affected you. You go, man, I hate liars. But then if you really had to think, have I lied?
Of course you have.
You probably have a justification for every time you did it.
I lied too.
There was a reason for it.
There's always a but.
There was a reason the way you did it, but that guy didn't have a reason.
Exactly.
But you did. So we tend to manipulate ourselves a lot. So it's better to sit in front of somebody. I mean, I can give you the symptoms of what a dependence is, but here's why I hesitant to do that on a radio show or a television show or any kind of show.
It's not personal.
Because I'm not trying to diagnose you like this telephonically. I'm not trying to diagnose you electronically. I'm not trying to diagnose you without knowing you. I'd rather you sit down in front of a professional that can ask you the questions, and then you can kind of do some back and forth and kind of see if it fits for you.
Look at you being all professional and responsible, man.
Well, because I used to not be. I would just tell you all the symptoms and have you go diagnose yourself. But there's a thing called liability, Trinity. And the older you get, the more you're
See, I can't help at that, but that reminds me of a statement.
Keep your eye on your pockets also, Trinity. Be responsible.
That reminds me of something that was just said, what was it, yesterday, I think, by our commander-in-chief. He came out and said that he knows how to stop the opioid problem, but we're not ready for it yet.
Yeah.
And that was it. He didn't expand. He just,
That's all he
I know
said.
exactly how to end it, but we're not ready for it. Oh, wow. Well, I'm glad you got all the answers, brother. It just reminded me of that. That's all. I digress.
Yeah. Well, so what I'm saying is that you probably want to sit with somebody, and you probably want to not only just sit with somebody who actually does diagnosis on a daily basis. And here's the deal. If you're not willing to do that, if you're not willing to go to an addictions professional, not just a family friend, not just your friend, not someone who has some sort of relationship already with you, some sort of existing relationship.
Or an internet quiz.
Right. If you're not willing to do that, then you're probably not willing to really diagnose yourself. You're probably already going into it with the answer you want to hear. The only real way to do it is to be brave enough to go in there and be completely honest about, this is how much I use, this is what I use, these are the reasons I think I use, these are the reasons that I tend to find myself, these are the consequences I tend to experience. And just be brutally honest. Yeah. Because no professional is going to make you an addict. We don't have the ability. Yeah. I don't have the ability to make you a drug addict or an alcoholic or a food addict or a sex addict or any other kind of addict based on my judgment. This is all going to be based on some factual stuff that you're going to provide and some feedback back and forth, so we can make sure that we don't read into things incorrectly and we don't project. We don't want to project anything like that. And just because you had a DUI doesn't make you an alcoholic. And I do know there's some people that aren't so professional, Trinity.
Yes.
That they try to play in our business. Yes. They go, if you had a DUI, then you're an alcoholic.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. No. However, if you are an alcoholic,
you probably
chances are you're going to get a DUI.
Yeah,
so they're going to be in that ball game.
Sure.
But
that would be correlation to causation, my friend.
Correct. That's like saying, if you punch somebody, you can shoot somebody. I mean, you're going to shoot somebody. No, you can.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean you will.
Yes. And if you've shot somebody, then it's likely that you at some point have punched somebody.
You punch somebody.
Yes.
Correct. Yeah. So, like the game, without getting into gateway drugs.
Oh, there we go.
That
G word.
Well, because if you've done crack cocaine, the likelihood of you have smoking pot before is really high.
Yes.
However, just because you smoke pot doesn't mean you're going to smoke crack cocaine.
Correct.
So it does go one way, typically not the other way all the time. And so it's important to be respectful and responsible when you're diagnosing not only yourself, some other people. So I did want to bring that up because when you were talking about, doing it 3 times a week and then do it, am I boring you?
No.
He started yawning over there.
No, my caffeine is wearing off.
Do you need a nap?
Yes, actually, I probably do. I don't get as much sleep as I should, man.
Not yet, Trinity.
Yeah.
We're still on the air. Can you give me like 12 more minutes?
I can, yes.
Okay.
I'm sure I can manage.
All right.
That's a goal of mine. It's specific and measurable, so.
Right. Trinity's now treatment plan is going to be, he's going to be able to be in here wide awake without yawning for the next 12 minutes.
Oh, I never made any commitments about not yawning.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the other thing I wanted to say while you were talking. These things also have to be under your control. It's irresponsible of you to set a goal that's really someone else's goal, not your goal. You know, it has to be something that you absolutely can do or change. And a lot of you don't think that there's things that you can change sometimes. You tend to put off a lot of things saying, well, I really can't do anything about that. That's on them. Yeah. No, you got to find in that scenario, in that situation, what is under your control.
And that's why I said challenging yet obtainable. Right. Like in the fitness world, especially, oh my gosh, especially the fitness world.
Right.
They come up with these goals that are just unobtainable. Like, I want to lose 100 pounds in 2 months. Like, dude, that's never going to happen. Like, that's impossible. Unless...
Well, it is going to happen.
Well, not in 2 months, is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
You can't
not healthy.
Yeah.
You can cut your leg off.
Yeah,
and that's
exactly.
Still not 100
but you're not going to be able to lose body fat and 100 pounds of body fat in 2 months.
But you know, I akin that, Trinity, to the people that will say, well, I'm in this industry. And because I'm in this industry, I can't... There's no way. Nobody's clean in this industry. You know, so they put these broad strokes.
Okay.
Like saying, you know, nobody in the banking industry, you know, is not an alcoholic, or, you know, nobody that sells cars.
Wow.
You know, everybody who sells cars does a little cocaine every once in a while. You know, there's stupid things that we have said as people.
Sure.
You know, to broad, just to, you know, all right, so should I use other professions, maybe like rock stars and actors? I didn't want to just pick on them.
That one makes sense.
No, because I see the others. Believe it or not, I see the others. I see attorneys tell me there's, you know, every attorney I know does this.
Well, you know what?
Doctors I've heard every doctor I know is this.
We'll do the safe one and say students. I've heard students say all students are on like speed or Adderall or something like that.
Adderall, you know, is everywhere in college, right?
They're all using it.
If you broad stroke and say everybody in college is doing Adderall, well, you know what? It may be very common. It may be used a lot. Thank you for Craig for helping me.
I'm just saying.
Be a little bit more.
Well, then the thing is, we base everything off of our own pool. You know, like we say everybody. Well, because you know 8 people who do
that's why I thought everybody smoked pot.
Yeah,
there's everybody I knew smoked pot.
Well, like at UCF, there's how many thousand people there are enrolled at any given moment, and you know maybe 50 of them,
right?
That qualifies you to say everybody. Right. Maybe not.
Well, and you know what? You're so right, Trinity. Because when I was smoking pot, doing cocaine and stuff like that, I thought everybody, because everybody around me was doing it.
Right.
All these people on Facebook that are still alive and around and are like in my generation.
Right.
You know why I don't go to any class reunions? Because there's so many people in there. Who the hell are you?
Sure.
I mean, maybe you don't know me either, because I'm the real loser here, because I was the one over here with my group drinking and getting high and doing other stuff. But we thought we ran that school, and then I was like, who the hell are you? Where were you at?
It's a whole slew of people you never met.
Yeah, if you sat in the first 5 rows of any of my classes, I have no idea who. I think I heard your name before.
My graduating class was like 486 people.
Oh, mine was a huge class.
Yeah, and I don't know all those people.
But all I knew was people that, you know, did cocaine, smoked pot, hung out at parties. Hell, I threw a lot of the parties.
What is that? Birds of a feather flock together?
That's it. So I only knew the people that were actually kind of deep in it a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, and if you weren't deep in it, I didn't really know you. So, yeah, that's your example, right?
Yeah.
About
people like, you know, you're going to, if you're the individual, and I'm going to generalize here, but if you're the individual going to a bunch of like college cake parties and stuff like that, of course, to you, it seems like everybody goes to cake parties and drinks.
Yeah, it looks like that.
But yeah, of course, because that's where you're going.
Right.
But if you were to go to maybe the library on a Saturday night and see all those kids in there studying for their exams, then you would think, oh, everybody studies. Like, so it's just a matter of perspective, man.
Right.
We got to get outside ourselves a little bit.
Right. You know, that's
message.
And that's a great point, because in my first little part in college, the first year or two, you know, I was intoxicated.
Right.
So it kind of felt like that too. But then the last couple, you know, when I was with Dana and already here in Florida, I wasn't. So at UCF, I didn't see any. You know, I didn't have any of that.
And then you probably thought each school was different. Like, man, UCF's like a clean school and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I really thought like Clearwater. When I hit Clearwater, that was the nicest place on the planet. Trinity. I mean, when you come from L.A. to Clearwater, or from El Paso and Juarez Desert to L.A. or Colorado, and then I came here, it was like, people here are friendly and nice.
See, I had the opposite of that.
You bump into them, and they're like, excuse me.
I had the opposite of that.
What, here?
Yeah.
People were rude here to you? Oh, because you came from Montana.
Yeah, when I came from Montana, where everybody like nobody locks their doors.
Oh.
Everybody's like, "Hey, neighbor." You know,
I don't see. I've never.
When you come down here, like people spitting and cussing, like get out. The heat, man,
Really?
makes you angry sometimes.
So people, so you did have the opposite reaction. You actually saw people as angry here.
Yeah.
And I see, and you know what? I came here and I thought it was Howdy Doodyville.
See,
I thought
came from Howdy Doodyville, probably in your eyes.
Oh my God! If I would have went to your place, then I would have really.
You would have been like the only Hispanic there.
Brother, in Clearwater, I was the only Hispanic when I moved there. Now we've overpopulated now. No, we've come.
Yeah.
But I got here in 1990.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, so
sadly, I did actually did demographics of where I'm from in Montana.
Yeah.
It's tiny. It's not like a big city. The place I'm from in Montana, I did the demographics probably, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago. Just looked them up for giggle's sake. And it was with my friend, actually. My friend's Boricua. He's Hispanic. We were talking, and my other friend is black. So we're sitting there talking about it. And I'm like, huh. And so I just looked it up. Just the percentage where I'm from, the demographics is like 1%.
Wow.
And so it's like basically like 3 black dudes and 2 Spanish guys. Now there is a higher instance of Native American now.
Oh, okay.
The Native American population is a little bit bigger.
So you got some
not,
color,
but you didn't really see them much.
Just not.
They were on their own little area.
How do you guys get things done?
Well, there's a bunch of hardworking white people, man. Making America great again, bro.
Who's washing your dishes? Who's mowing your lawn? See, I'm allowed to say that. You don't say that, Trinity. I'm allowed.
Kids.
The brown card. Remember the brown card?
Yeah. Right.
I'm allowed to say things like that. You don't.
But yeah, it was. But yeah, I had the opposite effect when I came down here. I just saw the opposite. And actually, I saw my first black person down here when I was in the airport. I was 6 years old, and we were in the airport, and I saw my first black person and embarrassed the living hell out of my mother. Because I was walking with her, and you know, I'm 6, so I'm old enough to like be aware of my surroundings. And we're walking in the airport, and I saw my very first black person ever. And I remember my mom said as loud as I could. No. I said, "Mom, what happened to that guy? He's burnt." And my mom got so I'm just like, "Oh my God!" Like she started pulling to the side.
Embarrassing, right?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know any better. I was 6, dude. I just saw what is that? Like I've never seen that before. But yeah.
Wow.
Very interesting.
Well, that is interesting. Well, you know, I don't know how to say that.
It's just nothing to say to
this.
that, man.
This was the whitest place I ever came, other than Germany. I mean, I was really young in Germany, so I really, that didn't.
I can see Germans being white. Yeah.
But here, yeah, you can see that. But when I got here, it was like, what? It was I don't know. It was interesting, but it was very nice and friendly, and I'm glad I stayed. I didn't like it at first, but I stayed. And so hopefully that's what you guys go through. You experience it. You want to get clean and sober, and it may not feel comfortable yet. Right. Like I wasn't comfortable here yet. I didn't know if I wanted to stay here. I didn't know if I wanted to do this deal the way it is. I had an initial plan. I'll do this for 10 years, and I'll go back to slanging and doing something else because, I had that image that I'm going to,
Right. It's never going to work.
Yeah, man. I'm going to have a plantation growing it illegally on the other side of the border. I just won't do the cocaine part of it again. But I'll go back to my roots and start trafficking, marijuana again because,
it's amazing what we tell
back when I did that, there was no violence and drugs. But, man, that cocaine, that's where the drugs come. I mean, that's where the guns came in.
Sure.
So but if you get past that initial part of just the knots and just do, and that's what I did. I did. Yeah, they said, keep coming back. I kept coming back. Right. It works if you work it. I thought they were a bunch of liars, but I kept coming back. And just little by little, by doing the things that other people were doing to be clean and sober, he held back the you should have seen him right now. I wish I would have had the camera on him. He was trying to yawn, and he was, when people are holding in a yawn? Trinity just did it. So it was yawn time for Dharma Guy. But anyway, so just keep at it. You're 12 days in now. Keep it going. If you've fallen off and you say, "Oh, forget it," you don't have to wait till next year to do this again. You don't have to wait till next year to start over. You can do it right now. Start over right now. Now matters more. See?
You beat me to it. I was getting ready to do it.
Now matters more. This is what's important. So anyway, Trinity, any last parting things? We got to go.
Man, I think that's it. Just stay focused, man. If it's a goal worth setting, it's a goal worth doing. Right. So stick with it.
Okay, and very happy birthday, belated birthday to my father. I haven't been back since he had a birthday. Happy birthday, Dad.
Very cool.
Love you. And anyway, I think that's just about it. Do we have anything else that you can even think of?
I think that's it for now.
All right, so from all of us here, adios, amigos. It's time for a taco. Goodbye.